Hi, everybody. It's me, Clint McElroy, also known as Doc Curmudgeon, as Doc Curmudgeon Saves Comics, working our way through every #1 in DC Rebirth. And it's pretty easy this week because there's only one. So let's just get right into it, shall we? Jump right into Justice League Rebirth 1. You know, when New 52 came out, Justice League was the linchpin. It all stemmed from Justice League. The stories all seem to come from Justice League. It's what made that book so amazing. The best book of New 52. This book doesn't quite match up to that. This doesn't feel like things are radiating out of it, but everything is radiating into it. Tough doing Justice League. All these characters from all these other books, you got to give them their own voice, but still make sure it syncs up with the voice of the other books. And it's tough when you have all these different characters to keep track of. Hey, that's my department. Why, look, everybody. It's Little Cal. Hi, Little Cal.
Hi, Doc Curmudgeon. How are you?
Well, I'm just fine. You know, your character is the centerpiece of this new Justice League because you're a different character. You're a different Superman. They all knew the Superman that died. Their buddy, their friend, their lover.
Tell me about it. It was weird.
Okay, well, why don't you give me your impressions of the other characters in the Justice League and what you thought of them? Well, let's start off with Batman.
Well, Batman reminds me of Todd, the weekend manager at Circuit City.
Well, why do you say that?
Well, he's judgmental, he's a jerk, and he thinks he knows it all. But everybody defers to him because he's the night manager.
Ah.
Plus, he stocks the pop machine.
Well, what about Cyborg?
Well, he's into all this computer hacking and creating networks of boom tubes, so I guess he's the Justice League's IT guy. Although, I have to admit, I kept looking at him, waiting for him to go, go, gadget legs!
Of course, you got the Flash in there.
Yeah. He's the only character in the whole book that has even a shred of humor, so he gets all the jokes. All the jokes!
Tell me about Wonder Woman.
What is up with that lady? I show up in the brain of a giant alien wood tick, and she's staring at me like I'm a huge piece of cake or something. I told Lois, it just creeps me out.
Aquaman?
Don't know him. Short hair, no beard, no hook. Wasn't riding a giant seahorse, and smells really weird. Of course, there is that whole inside the giant wood tick from outer space thing.
And the 2 new additions to the Justice League. Oh, right. There are actually 3 new because you're new. It's the 2 new Green Lanterns. The Wonder Twins, as Cyborg calls them, but it's not Zan and Jace. No, Cyborg calls them that, and let's be honest, they don't get a lot of page time.
No, she's eager. He's grumpy. That's about it.
Well, thanks for your help, Little Cal.
You got it! Up and away!
Okay, I really wanted to like this book. I love team books because you get to see your favorite characters and dynamics that you don't often get to see them in. And that's what's so compelling about these team books. Brian Hitch is both the writer and artist on this book. And I have complained in the past that I think sometimes that's a bad combination. I think you need a writer and an artist pushing each other, helping each other, collaborating. I'm not the world's greatest Brian Hitch fan. I like his art, I really do, but I think it's more suited to things like Batman and some of the more, less galactic, humongous books. All of his characters are lean and sinewy, and there's not a lot of eye pop to a lot of this. But as a writer, Hitch tries to serve Hitch, the artist. Things are never set up. There are no good transitions in this book. And you're dealing with a book with multiple characters, multiple storylines, flashing forward, flashing back. Let me give you an example. All through the first two-thirds of the book, the members of the Justice League are wondering, wow, our Superman's dead. Should we invite the new Superman to be part of the Justice League? What do we do if he does join? How are things going to be different? Wonder Woman's crying, oh, my boyfriend's dead, my boyfriend's. And the Flash is saying, my hero, what about my hero? And Batman's just grumping ass around. It doesn't make any difference there. But at the same time, when Superman does show up, he just shows up. He flies in and takes command and starts giving orders right away. There's no dramatic moment. There's no taking the moment to seize on it. It just doesn't work in that regard. I worry. Now, Hitch is not going to be the artist on the regular book, but we're only reviewing this book, remember? So there are a lot of pin-up moments. There's a lot of posing majestically with chests out thrust and hands on hips and a lot of that kind of stuff. But the actual action of it and the actual visual setup, it's really difficult to follow the action. The best scenes in the whole book are 2 pages set in Clark and Lois's kitchen while she nags him that he needs to join the Justice League. It's like telling a guy, come on, you need to be on that softball team with your buddies. But it looks good, and the dialogue's really good. There's hope for this book. There really is hope for this book. But I wanted it to be an explosion. This is what they're basing everything on, the Justice League, in the movies and everything else. And it doesn't quite measure up to majestic. But we're not going to give up on it. We'll give Justice League Rebirth a thumbs up at about, I don't know, what, 50, 60, 70 degrees? That works. Well, I tell you what, that does it for this time. We'll see you next week with 3 or 4 brand new titles as we wallow our way through DC Rebirth.